Donald Trump campaigned pretty hard for Mike Johnson before the vote, put his full support behind him. Yet you still had these 9 Republicans trying to show that they have the power. What signal were they sending to Mike Johnson?
Lyndsay, it's good to be with you. And the signal that they were sending is that they did not like how things transpired in the last Congress on a number of issues, particularly when it came to government spending. And they wanted to see Mike Johnson fight harder for conservative principles, particularly on those issues that Donald Trump has identified as his agenda. So they have said that they are going to give their support to Mike Johnson today with the expectation that he will deliver on the promises that Donald Trump has made to the American people.
Robert, Mike Johnson is about to lose 2 key Republicans to Trump's cabinet, Mike Waltz and Elise Stefanik. So this is going to make a small majority even smaller. So it'll go from 219 to 217. I mean, that is razor thin. Are Republicans going to be able to get anything done? Because ultimately now you have a situation where just one Republican can stop something from happening.
Lyndsay, it's usually the U.S. Senate that is closely divided. There will actually be a larger Republican majority in the Senate with 53 seats than in the House, as you've identified. So they are going to have to work on unifying the Republican caucus around the issues that Donald Trump has identified as being top of his list, and that is border security, extending the tax cuts that he first passed in 2017, bringing down the cost of living by cutting government spending. You can go down the list. All those things are going to require Republicans to stand united. It's not going to be an easy task for Mike Johnson. However, with somebody as popular as President Trump is right now, I think that he'll probably be able to drag along those Republicans who may be reluctant.
Okay, I want to talk to you about that in a moment. This is definitely probably the easiest vote Mike Johnson will have. It's going to get an uphill task from here. But Dominique, after the vote, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries spoke saying that Democrats will work with Republicans on some of these key issues. Let's listen to what he said.
The election is over. This is a new Congress. The American people need us as their elected representatives in this season to put down our partisan swords and pick up bipartisan plowshares. And we will work with anyone of any party to get that done. We will work with anyone to secure our borders, and we will work with anyone to fix our broken immigration system in a comprehensive and bipartisan manner.
Okay, Dominique, that got a lot of smiles from Republicans. You know, Democrats are facing this sort of identity crisis after the election. Are they really going to work across the aisle? Is this plausible?
Absolutely. With reason, I do expect the Democrats to work across the aisle. And I actually love what Hakeem Jeffries, Representative Jeffries, shared today. Let's not forget, before the election, there was a bipartisan border security deal. So as long as Republicans put forth bipartisan security and other legislation that actually helps the American people, I do expect Democrats to reach across the aisle, work across the aisle, because this is ultimately about what's going to help the American people.
Right. And of course, each side has ideals of what that looks like. You know, Robert, Trump was very involved in this speaker vote process, as I mentioned. But, you know, we didn't see this with Kevin McCarthy in the beginning, but he was on the phone with Chip Roy, who originally said he wasn't going to vote for him, and some of the other members as well. You know, you talked about Trump's going to get what he wants, but it took a lot of work for him to do that. He was whipping members of Congress to get them to essentially fall in line. So, you know, it doesn't seem like this is going to be an easy task for him to get his legislative goals across the finish line.
It's not going to be easy, Lyndsay. As you know, that there's a process called budget reconciliation, which allows Republicans, because they have a majority in the U.S. Senate, to move things through with 51 votes. And so that will be a little bit easier on some of the big ticket items. However, any one Republican or two Republicans in the U.S. House can hold up this legislative process in a way that I think would frustrate the Trump administration and really stymie his agenda. And so I do think it'll take a lot of effort on the part of people like J.D. Vance and the legislative team at the White House to make sure that they're hearing the concerns of these Republican lawmakers to address anything that they want to have happen on the front end, so you don't have a situation where a vote comes to the floor and you have an unexpected outcome.
All right, we're out of time. Dominique, I owe you a question next time you're back. Good to see you both. Robert, Dominique, thanks for being here.